already. You are live already. So we turn on the video.
Okay, all right, yeah, bye. What an anthem. So, Henry, are you hearing me live? PL on. We are about to start the show. I'm not. I'm seeing 2 seconds.
CMC for the people, by the people, and to the people. Citizens movement for change. Oh yes, a new day has come. Yes, a new day has come. Rise up, Liberia. CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. CMC, CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let us join our hands together to build a better life. Equity, national unity, transparency, accountability, social justice, integrity, CMC core values. CMC Global. It is a new day for Liberia. It is a new day for the people. Let's all together. Let's all together. It's a unity. It's a CMC. The land of liberty, the light of freedom, the love of liberty brought us together. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC for the people. CMC by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, CMC, yes, for the people. CMC, yes, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better Liberia. CMC, yes, 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 the time has come.
Hello, everybody. It is
Yo,
excellent
Widow.
to be here today. It is an excellent day, maybe night where you are. It's good to have you in the studio. Henry, your name says Mayborn. Maybe you want to remove that. It's also good to see Mr. Toby Maxwell Smith. Toby is in the studio as well. And you probably know me by now. I'm Dr. Franciane Chenoweth Richardson. I am the global chair for CMC. So today we want to welcome you to the program. I'm going to give every one of us on the panel here an opportunity to just talk about what's on your mind. How did your day go? Anything you want to just get grounded about before we proceed with the show. So we'll start with Mr. Smith, and then come back to me, and then of course Henry, and then come back to me, and Asu.
Okay, so again, let me say thank you, Dad, and thanks to the viewers and listeners following our time here this night. It's been a very good day today, as always. I'm just returning from Banga, Central Liberia. Again, the work of the CMC continue. We've been up in the central part of the country, keeping the people of that part of Liberia informed about the CMC, the workings of the party, and of course the ongoing conversation relating to the most talk about breach activities in Bond County. The politics in the county is becoming very interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more tonight. But again, there's a lot happening around the party. We are preparing for one big occasion this weekend in Mount Gibi. We hope we can throw some light on that as well. There's a groundbreaking ceremony expected to take place. The big conversation in town from the CDC, CMC, and had to do with the pronouncement by the political leader of the Yellow Machine. Is a very big conversation. People talking about it in every quarters right now. Again, the situation with Honorable Sando Dazo Johnson in the Western Cluster, his recent appearance on the Spoon was very interesting. We all follow. So yes, the table seems to be very loaded. The budget is a conversation, but there is a perspective coming out tomorrow from the CMC angle. And so we will dance around that a little bit on our platform tonight. The women of District 17 seem to not be sleeping. They had a very big gathering on the weekend, and they keep pushing the CMC to pay more attention to the women organization there in District 17 in Mosorado County. And so it's interesting. I'm very sure it's going to be a very good night here with our people following us and listening to us in their respective homes.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Tobe. Again, we would like to welcome all of you who are joining us tonight. This is the last stop before you get your news tomorrow. So this is for you to soak in whatever that you experienced today. Maybe you wanted to hear something, you didn't hear it clearly. This is where you will come to hear the news of trending issues in Liberia and also CMC news. There's a lot of things, as Mr. Taylor said, on the table. I want to turn our attention now to Ansu and Henry, and they have the opportunity to tell us what's on their mind. How did they spend the day today?
Thank you. Thanks so much, Dad. Good to be here tonight. And let me say, hats off again to Mr. Smith Tope. Wonderful, great. It was a good weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. Just been following all the political activities in, in Liberia, and especially with the recent also the recent announcement from the PL on now the yellow machine issue, the 26 yellow machine before 2026 will be in Liberia by CMC. Is one of the news for the weekend to now. It's still trending in every quarters and corners. You listen to people still talking about it. And then as I said, so we are good and ready and strong to be here for now up to 1:30 Liberian time. So Hassan, welcome.
Thank you. Henry, your thoughts?
Thank you so much, Darby. And many thanks to the team for being here again today. It has been a great weekend. I think we are glad to be here again, sharing our thoughts when it comes to the political activities in the country, and more specifically, when it has to do with CMC. It's a great honor again to form part of the team on tonight.
Great. It's good to have everybody here. So, we started talking about some trending issues in the country, which we talked about. Everyone's talking about the budget. We're going to dance around it a little bit. And the reason why we're dancing around it because we're going to have an official party statement about it. But we'll just kind of talk about our preliminary thoughts about it because we can we can speak, but our party says the final word about the budget. And Mr. Ability, the political leader, announced that Mr. Toby, correct me here, that he's going to be speaking on the budget tomorrow at the party's headquarters. So stay tuned. Open your ears to hear exactly CMC analysis of the budget, the X-ray of the budget. Um, I would just say, consistent with the CMC, we want to see a budget that is for the people, by the people, and of the people. We want to see a budget that, that will be more geared towards the plight of our people, helping our people with, uplifting them from poverty, increasing the education, healthcare system. So we'll see what will happen as we talk about this tomorrow. But personally, I want to see a budget. And again, I'm not going to speak about whether the budget is or is not, because that is the prerogative of our political leader. What I'm going to speak about is what I want a budget to shine light on the Liberian people. For too long, we have budgets in our country. Anyway, I will stop here. But to just add to some additional thoughts, I had a wonderful weekend. I had a weekend of pondering what is life. I saw a young man he was a kid when I was, let's say my teenage years, and he was driving to a friend's place and suffer a stroke as he was driving. And
wow.
as God would have it, it wasn't his dominant foot, his right foot that you used to hit the pedal with. It was the left foot. And as God would have it, he just had the thought to just drive to the nearest hospital. He happens to be a veteran, and to drive to the nearest hospital. And by the time he got to the hospital, he was not even walking. And so a group of his friends and this is what we talk about: friendship, long-term loyalty, charity. This is what we talk about when we talk about. So and he also belongs to an organization that I belong to. My husband happens to be the president of this organization, the Bong Education Center Alumni Association. We grew up in the former district, Bong County. Bong Mines is where I grew up. And that's where he also grew up. But again, like I said, he among my youngest siblings, they would be crowd. So he's been in hospital for 5 months getting physical therapy. And it was such a glorious, wonderful thing that he was able to walk out of the hospital. We recorded him walking out of the hospital because there was a lot of uncertainty. Some people, when you have stroke, you can recover so fast, you don't even know you have stroke. Some people, it affects your extremities, your limbs, your ability to connect between the brain and messages that goes on to your extremities, your legs and your hands. Something affects your heart. So it has different manifestations. It has different ways of affecting people. But there was no greater joy for me this weekend as I ponder what is life. You can have a big house, a big car, all the money in the world. But one thing you cannot replace is your life. If you lose that, you cannot replace it. So I had a lot of thoughts going through my head, but it was great to see him walk out of the hospital. We rode in a convoy. It was an 8-hour drive for my husband and I, a total of 8 hours drive. And from where he went to the hospital was 4 hours. So we drove from our home to the hospital 4 hours. This got him discharged, was there when the nurses signed his discharge paper, gave him his suitcases and everything. And then got back in the car. A group of his friends, because he's not driving properly, we didn't want his wife to drive. So a group of his friends took the wheel and we drove home. And there was a crowd of Liberians, his community. They say, tell me how you live in your community. When things are rough and down with you, the people that show up with you, you will know how you live in your community. And apparently he had done a lot of good work, does not, get into anybody's way. So there was a good crowd of people waiting for him, and they just celebrated his life. And it was just good to see. So we later on left and went to our sleeping place, and then of course stopped by his house yesterday to make sure that he's okay. We'll continue to check on him, but like I said, I took a few learnings, which I kind of, subscribe to, that no matter, I can get all the degree in the world, I can get a big house, a big car, lots of money, travel the world. But, one thing I can replace is life and how I treat my fellow mankind. And I think that falls in line with CMC. When people ask, why CMC? I had a lot of opportunity to talk about CMC to a lot of Liberians too. They were very interested. And
Okay.
this is what CMC is about. It's about the people. It understands the intrinsic value of life. So yes, that's what my weekend was about. And today, of course, I worked like a Hebrew slave. I didn't mean I didn't mean that in a negative way, but I had to get caught up with work, so I did that. Yes, so that was how things went for me. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Mr. Toby. You started off by telling me some great news about the women of District 7. In your observation
Yes.
of those women and how they are promoting the message of CMC, what have
What
you
again?
I'm sorry?
Yes, go ahead.
What have you seen about their promotion of women in our country, where 50% of the population is women and the other 50%, the line I stole from you, was born by women? What are these women calling for, as they promote CMC? They came to our headquarters, they were there singing and praising God, and now they went back and in the presence of the chairperson of our Women's Congress, Miss Alice Biz. I wish I would love Miss Alice, if you're listening, would love for you to come on the show. Continue to praise the goodness of CMC. What did you learn? What have you observed about these women who are standing up for Liberia and for women's rights?
What again? Thank you. And let me, before I go to your question, I think I follow you briefly during your travels, and I witnessed one of your videos on the social media when the introduction with the gentleman you've gone to see along with your husband and other friends, and I saw the joy of reconnecting with him, and I started to notice, because you said to us the last time that you were traveling, so we're all being concerned and trying to see where you are actually um, driving to and where your final destination could have been. But then following your video, I saw you and the rest of the family, including your husband, in that joyous mood, and, welcoming a gentleman. I earlier on thought he was a family person to you, but now you've told us that because of your connection in time past and your days in Fuama,
Mm-hmm.
that relationship speaks volume. And to see you reconnect and putting the humanness
Yeah.
out, that was something commendable. And I want to thank you and your beloved husband and all of those who have gone to cheer him up to continue to do that.
Thank you.
On the women issue and the CMC, if you check the configuration of the CMC in its own structure, you observe that in our leadership, in our executive, there are more women than men. And so sometimes we ask the PL, why are we having more women, and no disrespect, but you've always said to us, there's something special about women. And I think when women decide to be with you, they are with you. That is why it's just difficult for a woman who decide to stay in a home or walk out of a home, except for some very rare reason. And when they decide to build their trust in an organization, they are organization builders.
Yes.
And I'm very sure, based on the understanding of our political leader, he's creating more room to include women in the structure and mobilization of the CMC. No disrespect to the men, though, but I think the women, when they become a part of you, no matter where the husband sit, they will convince that man to come over. It's on the opposite for the man. When a man is into something, sometimes he decide to go alone. To even convince his own wife, sometimes it becomes difficult. But the women are easily convincing to tell the husbands, we are going this direction, and the men will agree because of the soft spot that we men carry for women. So based on that, we've created more room for women, and the District 17 women are proving something very strong in their belief. Those women, I'm sure they've been around Liberia for a while. They've associated with political parties here and there. The CMC is just roughly 7 months old. We haven't made any big impact in Mosurado like we are doing in other counties.
Mm-hmm.
But because the name Musability and the things that they are hearing about him, his developmental agenda, his drive for women empowerment, those women have volunteered to have their own structure. Like we said the last time, they came to our party headquarters out of their own volition. No assistant, no arrangement. They came to the party as a surprise. And I'm sure, based on the leadership number that came to the party, it was also important for the head of the women wing of the party to equally pay them a visit. And you saw that over the weekend, the number of women that came out on the Sunday, you know, send a very serious message that those women from the district are organized in their communities. They did not go to service on that Sunday. They stood out, they organized themselves, they provided their own food as usual, and they hosted our women executive cheerleading, Madam Bessa and her team. Myself, when I saw the videos coming out on the social media, I was a little bit surprised when I decided to follow, and I began to believe that those women are very serious-minded people, and they are taking the message of the CMC beyond the district. And if each of those women can bring their husband to the party, the numbers that we've seen will 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 be very high in the increase. They are mothers, they got their sons. So once they believe in the CMC ideology, they believe in the agenda of the CMC, they will be the foot soldiers out there recruiting more people. So we are very proud of the structure, and I'm sure now that our PR is back in country, uh, it's going to be very prudent for us to pay a visit from the party hierarchy where the political leader himself will get involved again to express his gratitude to them and to give them the courage to do a lot more in the interest of the CMC. Believe you me, if those women continue the way we see them, the way they are moving, the energy they bring to their organization, the various grouping, the communities, and with our intervention in their district to come, I'm sure that the strategy of the CMC will be very vibrant. It's going to be an added advantage for us in terms of our mobilization base and our recruitment exercise. And it's going to put us in a very good, position moving forward into other communities. Those women are sending a very strong message to other women groups across the country. Remember, we are yet to go to all of the 15 counties in Liberia, but there's no way in Liberia you will not hear someone talk about the CMC. Like I said, I've been to Grand Jide. We are yet to get structurally organized in Grand Jide, but Grand Jide is aware of the CMC. River G, for example, we are yet to make an impact in River G, but there exists a structure, a group of Liberians that believe in the CMC.
Mhm.
People that are walking to us every day and expressing their interest because they talk and see us do more development. Our drive in the country is different. Our approach to the body politics looks different. And I'm sure that is the reason why people are gravitating to the way of the CMC. So those women are sending a very strong message. I'm sure you were impressed when you saw them, and you were thinking that it was a repeat, but that was a real day. And it
Yeah.
was in real and it was in real time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tuba. Yes, you're right. I had to take a double take because when I was looking at the videos online, and I said, but I thought I saw these women until we and I had a conversation. You said, no, those women were in District 17 this time around. So I want to go to you, Ansu, and ask you, as you think about CMC, why is it important for CMC to have a place for women to exercise, their thoughts, their rights, uh, you know, their views about the way in which Liberia should go? What are your thoughts on that, Ansu?
Um, uh, there will be a lot of thought, especially with women participation. Let me first say shout out to the political leader for his decision, especially with getting women involved in playing major roles with the CMC. And as strongly I believe that sometimes if we wake up in the morning hour, if there's anything to make him, maybe if you want to fall back or maybe want to get tired when he just draw his curtain and see women gather out, I strongly believe that he giving that energy to know that those women are out there for their children. Those women are out there for the future of this country, especially they are the one that can talk to we the men, talk to their husband. Indeed, to push this agenda, to push the CMC. So I strongly, I also believe that with the participation, and even on this platform, sometimes for me, I experience on the platform with you. So sometimes when there's some fallback and other stuff, before Mr. Toby call will come in, when I see your messages coming, I say, hey, that. So it just says that women come with that energy, and it makes you to move. So with the participation and getting women to key era, playing key roles in the CMC. Before that, the next maybe 2 3 years from now, the one Mr. Tobe said, the women that I keep gathering at the party headquarters there. Many times I tell you, I say I receive calls, text messages that they call me and tell me Say, my son, if you don't want to take us to that place, the next Sunday we're going to organize ourselves. So yeah, they say if you don't want to take us to that place, we're going to organize ourselves. So that's tell you that they getting that feelings of their full involvement by the political leader to make this thing happen, to bring this transformation, this change to this country. They know that they play a very major and key roles. So with women participation, especially with the CMC, that I'm going to see, I'm seeing a lot of changes with just the organizations I'm seeing, the how they're being organized. We don't let's see I will say women, I will say women. Yeah, just maybe they just go to CMC party corner and just and say I will say none of the women I'm seeing or no I'm continuing to see out there. I'm seeing organized people. I'm seeing models. I'm seeing people that really want to see people who are so thirsty or yearning for that changes for this country. I'm seeing them. They go out there. They sit patiently. They do everything on their own. So with our models participation with the CMC, we do anticipate a lot of changes. And for me, I know very well that whatsoever we I'm going to think on or I'm thought about women participation with CMC, nothing else we do expect but uh, changes, transformation, leadership ability, and yes, so there are a lot of things that we're going to see with their full participation in the CMC.
Thank you, Mr. Ansu. Just some final thoughts on this, and then we'll move on to our next topic on my agenda here. Yeah, we call the political leader Mr. I call him basically Mr. Do and Talk. Okay, I know that some people like to call him Talk and Do, and that's all good. Uh, and but you can see, you guys mentioned women in hierarchy, women in position of power. Uh, I, as a political organization, this is my first time seeing one that is led by a woman, a woman chairperson. And as Mr. Toby also said, there happens to be a lot of women, good mixture of women in their executive team makeup of CMC. So, and I can tell you too, in my conversations with different leadership structure here on this part of the world, women are stepping up to the plate, and it's a good thing for both men and women. Honestly, I mean, there are men who never imagined that they will work so nicely and beautifully with a woman, and that is happening within the CMC. So, many welcome to you, women out there. I want to just call on you to come in. We are looking at a justice system for women. We know sometimes we tend not to get the attention that we deserve when it comes to justice in our country. We're looking at that. We're looking at how is the economy going to work for women. We know you guys are the bedrock. We women, we the bedrock, and I can say that because I saw my mother, my aunts, and some of my cousins. They made sure that it was their ingenuity that kept our economy going. Whether they sold goods, whether they were market women, okay, whether some of them sat in the offices and worked, but they did really well. So yes, women, I want to just welcome you. It's a new day, as the song says in Liberia. I want to turn our attention right now to I wanted to just go to some of the CMC news, some of the things that are happening in CMC, and I'm going to call on Mr. Toby to tell us. For example, I want to start with some of from old to the latest news that's coming. Um, we danced around the budget a little bit, and we just told you that we're like tomorrow we'll probably talk about that more because we'll be more of liberty to speak about that, considering our political leader and many. For the first time, a political party has actually dissected and x-rayed the budget to make sure or to question or to inquire about how does it work for the Liberian people. So that's one of the things that I want us to briefly touch on. And then, of course, Mr. Toby talked about Magibi. I'm not sure he can sort of familiarize us with the Magibi program that is coming up, and also other great news that he can share with us here. And then we'll take our turn talking about what the news means to us. So, Mr. Toby, I want to turn over to you. I don't want to steal your thunder by giving you exactly what I have on my list to talk about, but you know we had a conversation about these things earlier. Can you unmute yourself?
Sure. Okay, so again, it's always good to talk more about the CMC, specifically with activities around the CMC. There's a lot, like I've said, Mangiri, there will be a solidarity march on this coming weekend. We you can remember that we had one solidarity march in Nimba.
Yes.
Yeah, some few weeks back. It was about citizens gearing up, marching through the principal street, and giving their support and standing in solidarity with stability. People think that he's been unjustly targeted by the government of the day, and so those who feed for him, those who buy in his sympathy, things that they should assemble and maybe call the government attention to allow him space in our politics, in the business cycle, and to give him some time to work. So we have a similar solidarity march in Nimba. So the people of Mangili have also said, we are also Liberians and we following the activities of the CMC headed by Mr. Musa Belite. So they have decided to do similar solidarity march this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday. But before the Saturday solidarity march, Mr. Belite and the CMC hierarchy will go to a town, a village that we talked about a few weeks back or a few days back, at Nyangwani, somewhere in the Gibi area, where we said there exists a school that has been there for years, that stopped to 8th grade, where there are over 300 and some more students, but with 125 chairs.
Wow.
So the CMC is going to break ground to build an additional annex to extend that school to a high school. So on Friday, Mr. Belite will go to Nyangwali for that groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of an annex to take that junior high school to a high school to afford the young people of that part of Liberia the opportunity to continue their education after 8th grade. I'm sure the structure that will be erected in Nyawali will be fully equipped. We are going to make sure that there are sufficient chairs in that structure once it is done. I'm sure that Mr. Belite will make some intervention with the already existing lack of chairs. And like I said to you, the road to the village or the town is deplorable. And we will take the risks like we've done in other counties to drive on that road for the sake of the people, to make intervention where necessary. So that will be on Friday. Then on Saturday, the city of Kakata will be the place of action. Again, because we are a law-abiding political institution. We've communicated with the county authority, with the county attorney, something that we should not be doing, but because again, we are trying to avoid the conversation as to uh, asking people for permit. We are Liberians. We honor our law. There is a right that protect us, that give us the authority to assemble and exercise our democratic right, not in a violent mood, but again, because where one right stop, there where another person right begins. So we've communicated with the county authority through the county attorney that represent the Ministry of Justice, the office of the superintendent, the mayor, and to allow them to be in the know that the CMC will make use of the principal street on Saturday for a solidarity march, not for a demonstration, not for any chaotic reason, so that the authority of the county should be in the know. So we've done that. We've communicated, and currently there are serious ongoing mobilization in the various communities. I'm told Mangibi, specifically Kakata, had a little over 47 communities. So
Wow.
Madam Besa and her team have been engaged in the last few weeks, making sure that the community gets involved. There's a huge mobilization taking place, meetings upon meetings, to make sure that the activities there is a success.
So, Mr. Toby, let me hold you there for a second. That is awesome. You just given us two awesome, wonderful, great news about the CMC. And I also want to thank you so much for all that you do doing going to these different, places in Liberia to do an assessment and be able to share your thoughts here on CMC, but also to the political leader in terms of helping to giving feedback as to how to proceed with these different projects. So that is a wonderful job. I just want to tell you, thank you so much. I wanted to share, before you move on to another great thing that CMC is doing, and before we let Ansu and Henry come in to give their views, I got a few calls today, and I wasn't sure. I have some really strong, good aunts, sisters, cousins, friends of women who, I've been in connection with them for many years. When the war took place, before the war, my father had a little farming community in the Magibi area. And
Yeah.
so I have maintained my relationship with these women.
Mhm.
And so they kept on calling me today that they wanted to be a part, and I couldn't understand, what they're talking about.
Okay.
Because they're just 20 minutes from Kakata. And Kakata
Mhm.
is so valuable to me, because when I first opened my eyes, my first home, for many people who may not know, was Kakata. So I'm excited to even hear you mention the name Kakata and talk about the communities. It has grown since I was there. I was there when at the time when I was a daddy's girl on a Saturday
Mhm.
morning. He and I used to go to a store where he would get me. Those days we used to have chocolate milk with the pigeons on it. I don't know if you guys remember, in the can. So we're talking about way back Liberia time. But way back, the days where we used to get chocolate milk, I was a daddy's girl
Yeah.
down there, and there was this brand of chocolate milk that had the pigeon in it. But CMC, is doing some great things. When I think about educating the future generation of Liberia, it is not uncommon for many, many schools to stop to a certain grade, like eighth grade, okay,
Mhm.
in our country. And a lot of times, those children, it's not that they don't want to continue their education, it's not that they don't want to be somebody tomorrow, but the opportunity and the privilege was denied to them. So that sometimes you don't have a choice but just to stop there,
Mhm.
okay? Not long ago on this very show, we showed pictures of how dilapidated the schools were in certain rural parts of our country. In fact, majority of the rural areas, schools are dilapidated. One girl I remember, and I can't get her out of my head. She's wanted to be educated so much, a young child, that she stood at the door. There was no seat because people were sitting double, double, double in the seats. Okay. And I can't get that image out of my head along with many others. But this is why CMC came to life, is to bring a different approach to Liberia, to incorporate all Liberians. Okay, this is not about the privileged. It's not about people who had the opportunity to, live well, whether it was their own money or their parents were enriched by government money, or however way we want to put it. Okay, but this is for all Liberians. It's for those students who in Yawali school, that's what you called it. Okay, it's for those students who will continue to go to meet them where they are in the rural part of Liberia. So I just want to say kudos to CMC. I don't know what the government will do. They need to put a school next door to. Let's see, because in the running competition with us, so I want to see what's going to happen here.
All right, so let me wrap
So,
up on the Mangidi stuff, since in fact we're talking Kakata.
uh-huh.
But again, Kakata has developed so much.
Yes,
If you had the experience
I've
between
seen it.
bomb mines and Kakata, that distance that used to be a little long distance is no longer a distance because people have started building, along the road. So
Yes,
the distance has become very short as compared to time past.
yes.
And the city have overgrown now. It used to be student center before, but if you're talking about populated cities now, you talk besides Mosorado, you talk Kakata, maybe Nimba, Ganta, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the business booming part of the country as we speak. So yes, we will be there on Saturday. We are all set. Beginning Wednesday, some of the support staff from the CMC central office will make the way there to give additional support, um, doing media work and other stuff, informing the people about the reason why we will be there in that sort of directed march. But let's now go to Bond County because I just returned from Bond County sometime on, we already passed 12 on yesterday.
Yes.
And again, the situation in Bond County is becoming very interesting. The CMC news is becoming very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, since we received the communication from the Ministry of Public Works, as a party, we thought to equally respond this time around, not to the Ministry of Public Works, but to the representative that initiated the bridge conversation with the CMC.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a formal communication to Honorable Josiah Mervyn Cole, telling him about the decision of the government through the Ministry of Public Works, um, denying or putting a total stop to the project on grounds that there exists money in the budget, something that is nowhere to be seen. Because in the 2025 budget that has just ended or that is closing up now, because there's a new budget out for debate or
2026,
that,
yeah.
that is being sent out now to the legislature, there is nothing in the 2025 budget about a bridge project in Bond County. But the Ministry of Public Works have said to the CMC that they got the funding to do the bridge. They are now talking to contractors. So we've communicated to the representative. They intend two things: either to re-engage or to talk to his county people through the county authority in their politics.
Mm-hmm.
To allow the CMC do the bridge, or between now and the weekend, we will be relocating the materials that were taken to Bond County. Look, that is one of the saddest news. The people of Bond County that have lost their children, their relatives, the loved ones in the river that were to be protected by bridge I've ever heard in the county. If you go to Bond County, the big conversation on all of the radio stations, on the morning show, on the night show, is the bridge.
Yeah.
People are talking, people are expressing their frustration, people are shifting blame here and there, people are asking, people are planning protests, people want the bridge to be built. It's going to break the hearts of many mothers, fathers, and family people to see the CMC move those materials. Remember, we took the steel, the cement for the bridge, 1,005 of it were already in the county. We took the concrete mix-up to the county. So all of the resource mobilization will be done and transported to the county with the intent of alleviating the suffering of the people of the county. But today, that bridge is being a political conversation, is troubling. And for us to allow the materials to be placed in the open, we got the cement in a warehouse that is being rented, that we're paying rented for. And the longer we keep it there, the more money we pay to the owner of the property that is serving as a storage for the cement. And there are other projects in other counties. So if there's nothing to be done about the construction of the bridge, the political leader and the CMC executive through the party chairman, Mr. James Yogi, have said we will relocate the materials from the county. And that will hopefully be this weekend or sometime early next week. And that is not a good news for the people of the county. For some of the people of the county, we'll see this as a disservice to them. We'll see this as a betrayal to their quest for development. We'll see this as, something very hateful. To see people walk to your doorsteps and wanting to be a help, and people are, in their own quest for supremacy. We want to see this not happening. It is painful. Today I had some time on the local radio, and people had the time to call in. There was too many different expressions of dissatisfaction. There have been several podcasts on the bridge project, and that if you go to the scene, if someday if this project is not built, the CMC has 6 months in their operation plan to complete the bridge. So if we were to do it in 6 months and we've been stopped and the government is still looking for money under the pretense that there is money in the budget, it's going to take forever. Remember, we did, uh, there was this intention to do a bridge in Bapulu. The government sent security overnight to stop the CNC from even making news of dropping, the materials in the town, and they prevented the CMC from doing that bridge. Today, the bridge remained the same. We went to River G in the southeast. There's a bridge there that the citizens have been complaining. The CMC thought to make a very serious intervention upon the arrival of our group of engineers and technicians at the site. The county superintendent said the government has a blueprint. The only difference between the two bridges is that the Bond County one is frustrated because they said they already had the money. The other ones, the government said they had a blueprint, so we should avoid the bridge. We left those bridges, the one in Bapulu and the one in River G, and it is stayed the same way, without any attempt to have it done. And that is becoming killing for the people because people are victimized, by the lack of those bridges. And it's a sad day. We hope that there will be an improvement, but Bond County people may not get that bridge if the CNC leave the site and relocate the material, something that is almost to be done. You want to say something?
Yes, I was saying that. Thank you for that update. Liberia, there you have it. Let me let Ansu come in as it relates to the bridge. What are your thoughts, Ansu? And then maybe I will just briefly share what I'm thinking before we go to the next news.
Just nothing much of that. It's just high politics or high politics, very high one over development. That's just it, and it is clear because I don't know. Each time this beach issue keep coming up, for me, it helped me a whole lot, especially with the video we saw from the citizens of Bond County when they were interviewed, giving
Yes,
their experience, how the children take out the uniform, remove the uniform, put in the bike bags to cross that water just to go to school. So, it helped me a whole lot. And to hear government talking about, we have this in our plan. There's nothing on government plan. I don't know. This 2026 budget, there's nothing captured there for development. There's nothing there for development. It's all about salary. All the guys say, everything that all the various ministries, government ministries and agency, it's just all about their salaries. And I just so why just couldn't allow the CMC to carry on that project for the people? Why couldn't you allow CMC to carry on such initiative to save the people's life? And for you to just decide to take personal interest, something that you wish. You don't even know what Liberians, look, the people said to go on to come into power, Mr. Tobe, that say you can lie, but when you're into power already, it's difficult because if the people say they are experiencing the difficulties, the challenges, so you cannot lie to them. They just said they've seen it for themselves. So they know very well that it's impossible for government to give that place attention. So it's just about high. I'm not saying politics over development. I'm saying high core politics over development. A real high core politics. And mind you, it's not happening in other countries that we hear that the CMC running things, carrying on huge development in Lofa County, in Nima County. So let the other people sit down there and allow their counties in for politics, maybe, and push development away. Those are the superintendent, the senator from Palm County, they didn't sit there and allow development go. The people from Baisa, they didn't take politics into it. Babulu County, they didn't take politics, Boto but to hold they need to take politics or development. But Joseph Boakai, the president, is allowing development in his county. CMC yellow machine is opening corridors, roads into Lofa County. So it's just heartbreaking about the Bond County news. This in the kids remove the uniform, put in the bike bags, cross that river, go to school. The senator case in the back of his car, distributing the kids in her car, going to school and looking at the citizen keep losing their lives. So, as I said, I don't, we don't really know because it's so painful that Mr. Tope say for you to see maybe over maybe the weekend to see them start to remove the materials, the equipment from that place. Yeah, it is just so embarrassing.
thank you. Thank you, Ansu. I believe you capture my thoughts. I worry about the people who have to walk across a tattered structure that we consider to be bridge. I worry about family members who uh, sons, brothers, sisters died crossing that river. I worry about the pregnant woman who has to leave from one village, try to at least in her pregnancy show how fearful she is. Carrying a Liberian citizen in order for her to get to a health clinic to have her child. But in all of this, I hope that people can see that the CNC is making, and I know making the government spend their money for the people because I don't think they the decision to build a bridge, or the decision to lie to the Liberian people to say that we have money in the budget, was going to be expressed if CMC was not going to go to decide to build a bridge in over the Jaw River. So I believe that, you know, one good thing, if we can look at it to be a good thing, we're going to hold the government accountable that that bridge will be built, that it should fall within the landscape of Bond County, such a beautiful county, because I know our political leader and his team, they take those things into consideration as they are building bridges across the country. So I want to just say we'll be watching the government, and we want to encourage them to continue to utilize the Liberian people's money for their benefits, such as education, healthcare, and building bridges, infrastructure. So I'm going to turn it over to you now, Mr. Toby. I know you are going to tell us. We have, before we get into some trending issues that relates to Liberia, I want to talk about this whole war crime court business that we heard that people are talking about in Liberia. But I believe that I heard our PL say that he was again bringing in some goods. Can you share some light on those things as well?
Yeah. So again, the the development of the country seemed to be on the heart of our political leader.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's having sleepless night, and so all he's thinking about right now is seeing Liberia connected, develop, making intervention, helping poor people, giving people solar lights in their dark communities, and what have you. So, you know, early next year will be a very good year for the CMC. We will get actually on the ground with our with our hands and everything available to us as a party. We will be going places. So currently in country, with what all we've been talking about and doing with the CMC, opening roads, doing bridges, moving excavator here and there, we've been doing all of those work with just full yellow machine.
Oh, wow.
So it tells you how we've managed to
Effective.
calculate, and be very strategic in the movement of those machines between towns and villages, and even private people asking for it to do private work, and helping market women to remove store
Dirt.
part of dyes and what have you. So we've done that very well with just full machines. We've opened several roads in Nimba. We've used those same machines to do bridge connection, opening farm to market road with just full machines. But if we are to do more than that, we are to do it in the way that other parts of the country will feel the CMC. Because the development we intend to put across the country um, will not be successful if we anticipate doing those using those four machines. So again, the CMC did a bidding process. From what we've been told and discussed with the political leader, there were several invitations and from people across the globe, expressing the interest based on what we were asking. And the PEL had a very successful conversation based on all of the different requests from people wanting to do or provide to the CMC yellow machines. But again, because we are a Liberian political party, it will interest you to note that there are some Liberians here who are also in the process of procuring yellow machines for a very good price as well. So the political leader brought all of the documents and the conversation and had a conversation with a Liberian businessman
Mm-hmm.
who, who was agreed to give the yellow machine at the same price that the foreign people were going to give to the CMC.
Wow.
So before the political leader left the country on Saturday of last week, the CMC managed to sign a deal to get the machines, ready, procured, and those machines will be in Liberia sometime in January or early February. 26
Wow.
pieces of those machines.
26. Wow.
So 26. So if you bring that 26 and add to the existing 4, we've had 30 pieces of yellow machines in Liberia. That
Wow.
will give us so much of an energy, so much strength. And those machines will be deployed accordingly to needed counties. We are doing the current roadmap for deployment upon the arrival of the machine. We'll be doing some very strategic work, for example, in Grand Bassa. We anticipate to deploy not less than 17 of those machines in the southeast. So, because the southeastern corridor of our country have had a lot of difficulties year in, year out.
Yeah.
So, out of those 26 pieces of machine, 17 of them will go to the southeast. It's going to go in, opening roads, farm to market roads, making interventions on main highway, and making sure people in that part of the country can get access to pliable road. So the rest of the machines will be deployed to some of the other counties in the western cluster, like Bombing, Cape Mount, and Bapolo, to make sure that we can also open some of the roads in that part of the country. So it's going to be very strategic as per the work. The CMC is going to provide the technical and the supervision of the work. We are going to fuel those machines from the CMC. We are going to pay the operators. We are going to provide job for those operators or Liberians that will be operating those machines. So it's going to be a whole team. And that is a news that has sent a wave in the spines of people. And they are thinking that the CMC is in competition. No, the CMC is not in competition with the government. No one can challenge the government. It is not the intent of the CMC to do that. The only thing the CMC is trying to do is to be able to help people. So when we get into the process of campaign, we'll be able to tell people based on what we have done. People should see your handwork to trust you with leadership of this country. In time past, we see politicians walk in the country with a briefcase with a few dollars in it, and they make promises that never come. And we are trying to change the narrative. We are making the political space competitive. So if Mr. Billington is doing well in the southeast or in the country, if another politician who also have the intention of becoming a political leader or a leader of this country will get involved in either doing road or doing something, the common people will benefit and they will make the decision. But to have politicians just keep making promises and have nothing to show, that is not the mood of the CMC. So the news of the 26 yellow machine, the government is now thinking that, and we are hoping that our machines will be here in country before the government 285 pieces of yellow machine. Because for them, they are still looking for the money. But for us, we procure those machines. We signed, you know, stipulation and making sure that the machines will be here in January or early February. This government machine conversation has been on the book for almost a year now, or over a year, and they're still looking for the money. If our machines are in country before the government of Liberia, they should get more worried because we will move into the countryside and we'll start the work. We are helping to build the country. We are helping to develop the country. And since that announcement came out 2 days ago, it is a scary conversation for people and thinking as to why we are like competing with the government, but we're helping to make the government to work. And
Yes.
there's a lot more that we'll keep announcing week in, week out as we move into different sector. We are about to get in the transport sector, not to make money though, but to alleviate the transportation constraint of our people. The
Yes.
CMC is in. You want to announce that?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm enjoying the news.
The CMC, the CMC is to shortly again get involved, and like we continue to say, we'll get involved in everything for the sake of the people. We know the government is already involved into the transport sector, but
Yeah.
are there many buses in country, that will help our people, help the students, get people moving across country, across borders? So yes, watch up. Shortly, there will be a CMC transport. We are bringing state-of-the-art buses, not those Tata buses from India. No, those Tata buses from India, we brought them here during Ellen Johnson time. Go see the NTA parking where they park those buses. There are hundreds of them, or more than that, parked there after every 6 months, and it's of no use. So every time every government come, they had to go back and bring some more Tata buses. So the CMC is bringing in a different standard of transport buses that will help alleviate the transportation problem of our people. It's going to be good for our partisans or our sympathizers who are taking our ID cards with them. They will have access to those buses at a very low cost for maintenance purpose, not for us to make money to build anything, but those buses will need to be maintained. We should be able to put in more to help our people, to help our students, to help our citizens in the country. So yes, as of next year, moving forward, we will introduce and bring in the country a lot of different things. Currently in country, we've brought in 1 million solar lights. Every town and village that Mr. Benedict will visit, we will put lights in those towns.
Very good.
That it was surprising by 7 o'clock. Some of the towns and villages, except for the moonlight that we all saw when we were coming up at Case. I know those of you in the west or in other parts of the world no longer see the moonlight. You don't see those stars like
No,
you
we
see them
don't.
in the towns. You see them in the towns and villages. So
Wow.
people in those towns and villages only see moonlight. They don't see solar lights. Before we talk about electricity. So
Wow.
where there's no electricity, the CMC will make sure the kids will have something to see at night and stop going to bed at 7 o'clock. And people making babies, making babies. In some of the towns you go, you see the population have increased so much because there's nothing there to do.
Mhm.
So when we put lights in those towns, like we're doing now in Bond County, like we're doing now in Nimba, and let me just tell you, the last time we went to the home of the late Thomas Kunyapa, we told you that, right?
Yes, yes, you told us. Right
We
underneath the name.
provided, we have just sent in 250 pieces of solar light to the town that we visited a few days ago. The
Wow.
people there are celebrating
Wow.
250 pieces of solar lights. We also sent additional 250 solar light in a town in neighbor called Bain, where the
Mm-hmm.
people there have been complaining. So everywhere the CMC will visit, every town we will visit based on the need, we will put in solar lights for the
Great.
people. We will help them so they can see that there is a different political party. Not the usual, we will do this when we win. People should win election before they paint their homes. People should
Thank
win
you.
election before they know that there should be drainage around the premises. Our politicians, some of them, with
Mhm.
everything they will say in this country until they get to power before they start to do them. No, the CMC will do it differently. We will do it for you. Then you will now decide whether we are good people or we are bad people. But before you
Yeah.
decide for us, we will also start making the decision for you through your schools, your health center, your education, and what have you.
Thank you, Mr. Tube. I mean, yes, the good news of CMC is coming to you. But can you play that tip? I saw you had a video out there, Ansu. Let's hear from his
Let me
ability.
give you an example. Let me give you an example. When I bought my first machine, the yellow machine, we pay $175,000 for the motor grader,
Hmm.
the first one. Last week, we just signed a contract for 26 pieces of yellow machine. But what we did international bidding, which means we reached out to, we called that one request for proposal. We went to you, we want to buy 26, we send the list to you, we tell you give us your best price. We tell you give us your best price. We take it, we bring it to people to say, this. Guess what we did? We came to a Liberian company and said, look, here we are about to pay over 2 million US dollar to a foreign company to supply us all these machines, around 3.6 million. If you give us the same price and the same service, we'll buy it for you. And Liberian company said, let me reach to my source. And the man went, he came back, Sekou, and he accepted our deal. Last week, Saturday, before I left Liberia, we signed a contract. Next January, between January and February, there will be 26 yellow machines in Liberia for the CMC across the entire country. Wow. Going to the southeast, going to the western belt, Bon, everything. Why the government decided to be transparent with their own, we're going to move. And again, Sekou, we are not in competition with the government. The CMC believes the government of Liberia should be doing 1,000 things. Where we see the government has no intention of going, we'll go there and relieve our people. We do not believe in going to Liberian people to ask them to vote for us if we cannot show them anything that we have ever done for them. That is our motto. We'll go everywhere. Even Maryland, Victor has asked us to go to his district to do some, I think, 5 or 10 kilometer road, which we will gladly do because he's a high-ranking official of our party. His people have to feel the CMC. People can't be hearing every day, oh, these people then just making robot. Victor, you call yourself Secretary General for Global. What is your impact? What is the impact of your party? Say, the last time we were in your town, We carry
Yeah.
light there. So at least when you on,
I didn't even know. And the people called me and told me, but
yeah,
your PO is here. I had to text you. I said, but how can you go in my town without telling me? So
yeah.
call me. They were happy dancing.
So the
Yeah.
entire Western Belt will sweep the Western Belt, Cape Mount, bombing, all that thing they're doing there. So we're not facing bridge. Send they get a bridge, they will walk past on the bridge and we'll face the road. When we see covered, we'll fix it. Whatever late thing we can do, we'll fix it. All we want, whether it's the government doing it or the CMC doing it, we want relief for our people. The country needs something different. We got to give that different thing. We're not here to post about it's stable. CDC and United Party has been trying and tested. Let LeBron Paul try someone else.
So I'm just elated, but let me just turn my focus a little bit to the people who are watching us. I want to tell you thank you for joining us tonight. We are here Monday through Friday discussing Liberia's issue. We're also, intermixing our thoughts with, the progress of CMC. I want to tell Greatness Faith Wallow. I see your love hearts. Thank you. Right back to you. CD Andrew Levy Wilson. Thank you so much. Keep joining us. Continue to hear the good, positive things about CMC. Mar Sharif is following us. J. Ishmael Mulba. He said, together we can make it CMC. Yes, we can make it. Um, Roger King is telling us congratulations on the show. Thank you, Roger. Mr. Vibe Jerk, DJ Vibe. CDC is coming back again. Well, CMC is here. CMC is here. Mr. Spark Dolly, he said Mr. Toby definitely is having a good time fighting for the Liberian people. I know you had something else to say, but that's what I think. Mr. Aluka Mara says, hey guys, hi, hello back to you. Patrick Vandy Manfala say, keep it up, CMC all the way. Yes, CMC all the way. I agree with you. Musa Fenduna, please, thank you for coming. You will see you all the time. He says CMC all the way. Isaac Wilson says CMC will move. Yes, we are moving. And Joe Sangari says good. I see some nation man wrote something about needing jobs. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, I want you to keep in mind that we're 6-7 months old. We are getting there slowly. Africana Nathans, yes, he spoke about how hateful the government is behaving in terms of the reaction to the accomplishments of CMC. James Cully is watching, and our own Secretary General J. Victor Nambwe is also watching, and he gave the very strong arm sign for CMC. Sekou Dunso is also watching. Musa Saka is watching. He said Musa Ability is the true patriarch. Mr. Victor Nami also made a comment. He said, PL and CMC for committing, many thanks to PL and CMC for committing to bring relief to my people of Barabo Statutory District in Maryland County. And of course, someone is asking for the ID cards. We are still working on the ID cards issue. They are coming. Just bear with us. But my thoughts about what you said, or about the 26 machines that are coming to Liberia, Mr. Toby. I am observing how effective the political leader, Mr. Musa Hassan ability is. When we Liberians are deciding on who to run our country, who to make laws, who to be known as the law is the law, okay, you should think about the political leader of the CMC. as I listened to him talk about how he effectively negotiated the 22 yellow machines, or 26, I'm sorry, yellow machines to come to Liberia. That is what we call an astute businessman. He's going to know how to spend the Liberian people's money. He's going to know who to contact. He has contact in the developing and outside world. We don't. You want a leader who has the ability to relate to others. You don't want a leader who will spend multiple years in government, but yet and still we are still wondering where are their contacts. Okay. um I also heard him put Liberia first, put his focus on Liberia. When I heard him say, I contacted a Liberian company who I know can work and bring in a yellow machine, he is putting the money right back into our economy, into Liberia, because like how they're doing with the building of the road contract. They went and got a contractor from Sierra Leone, Perry Ford. My Liberian people, when the money comes into our country, it's going to be paid to people who are Sierra Leonean contractor, and guess what? They're going to send that money to their families, and guess what? That money will help the Sierra Leonean economy, help them to develop their country. So our leader is saying, no, I am working with Liberians. I'm contracting with Liberians. I am staying Liberia focused. Don't get me wrong. We are going to collaborate and interact with other players in the region and internationally, other companies. But for now, the place where Liberia is, we need to focus on Liberia. I'm not trying to be an isolationist country, but that's just the fact of the matter. I'm also hearing the PL, the political leader, Musa Hassan Bility, and his team, because of course he's engaging with people like Mr. Toby and others, to tell us that I am strategically looking to develop Liberia. I am strategically assessing the infrastructure of our country. When I hear that about 17 of the yellow machine will be placed in the southeast region, my heart smiles. We think about that region. I remember during the elections, couple of leaders wanted to go. They had to pass through Aricos to get to Maryland. That is very depressing, and that says a lot about our country, about the state of development in our country. So he is saying, I want all Liberia, all parts of Liberia, to be connected. I want to fix, if I'm going somewhere, if I see a cover that needs to be fixed, we will fix it. We want roads to be built, because somebody talk about, we couldn't hear our ear, farm to market road, farm to market road. It takes infrastructure to be able, development to be able to do that. And this is what the political leader of Citizens Movement for Change, Honorable Musa Hassan Bility, is doing for the Liberian people. So yes, I appreciate a good leader. And I know you Liberian people, you are going to join CMC, you're going to join us in acknowledging the astuteness, the political savviness, the Liberia focusedness, or Liberia focused ability of CMC. And I wanted to add that. It seems like I lost Mr. Toby, and I don't know if Ansu is in the back. My phone just went off on me. But anyway, moving on to a topic that was trending in the country for a little bit. I have my agenda on the phone, but I'm just going by my memory right now. There were some talks about War and Economic Crimes Court. There were talks about there is no money in the budget for War and Economics Crime Court. And it is interesting that our country suffered many, many years of civil war. And many of our leaders and many Liberians are feeling like, in order for us to move forward in a good way, we need to be able to address the suffering of Liberians at the hands of others, of their own Liberians. We need to be able to address the destruction of properties at the hands of other Liberians. We need to be able to address the tearing down of our country, our morality, our value system for many, many years, decade long. We need to be able to talk about that. And that's what the essence of the War and Economic Crime Court was about. But today, we see that there's no money in the budget for that. So it begs the question, why was there a certain individual who I have no problem calling the name? Was it for Senator Prince Johnson that we were so focused on the War Crime Court? Now that Senator Johnson has passed, we see that this government, the Buckeyes government that came with the drive to let us be more aware and explore the devastation of our country during the Civil War, the crimes that was committed by those who were leaders of, or who carried out at the hands of those in the war. So obviously, that was talked about today in our news, but that is not a priority of this government, it seems like. So I want to hear, Mr. Toby, what are your thoughts on that? And then we'll go to Ansu.
Yeah, so again, it is a very serious discussion because the issue of war crime or war and economic crime court is being a discussion some Liberians have said is long overdue, but this having gone to bed, it seemed to be coming after government. I remember during the days of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, there was this whole conversation of the war and economic crimes court. Liberians talked about it. People had different views about it. Some people thought that we should stick with the truth and reconciliation. But again, our international friends helped us with the TRC process, which was the start. But the issue that had to do with holding people accountable for atrocities committed during our crisis now became an issue. We know that some of the major players of the war have passed, and one of those who was still alive, that every time there was a discussion on the war crime issue, name came as the rare light, like you rightly said, was the late senator of Nima County, Prince Johnson. I remember when I worked for the former president or the former government of the CDC headed by former President Weah. We've gone to the United States to address the United Nations General Assembly. And there was this commitment and conversation about Liberia's position on the war crime issue. When former President Weah returned, he said the decision was for the Liberian people, and that decision should come from their representatives. So the people speak to their representatives. If the Liberian people spoke to their representative and they agree that there is a need for us to have war and economic crime code in the country, he was just one person elected as head of state, but the people's decisions matter. And so that lingered around for a long time. There was not a precise decision on the war and economic crimes code until the Buakai's administration came. And then the conversation re-intensified. Prince Johnson was still alive then, even in the Liberian Senate, where the late Prince Johnson worked. There was Senator DeLong, who every time he saw Prince Johnson, he did not call him by name. He just said, war crime code, war crime code. And it became a serious discussion. The Buakai administration set in action the entire conversation of the war crime code. They set up all of the things that previous government did not do, which many Liberians supported. But strangely so, since the death of Senator Johnson, the issue of war crimes conversation have ceased. That momentum, that conversation, that debate, that millions of dollars that were being, searched for, that was being advocated for to support the fight of the war crime, to set up the court, has now been left undiscussed. People are no longer talking about the war crime code like when Senator Johnson was alive. So people are now sitting in their closet and believing that the entire conversation of the war crime code was centered around Senator Prince Johnson. Strangely so today, Honorable Tewong Gonglo, a son of Nima, came out in a write-out. Now Liberians are trying to localize the war crime code. They want to have a war crime code here that will be headed by Liberians, lawyers, and Liberian judges. So what taste would that have in, the issue of bringing people to book? It's troubling that the government that's supposed to be looking for funding, that's supposed to be supporting the fight to bring perpetrators to book, is now playing a snail pace on the entire conversation of the war crime code. There's no more Prince Johnson, but there are others that are still around. There's not a single Damate Kone, but there are others who fought the war that stayed around. There may be several names that may have died that were considered to be major players of the war, but some of them still live on today. Are we now saying to them that, we've forgotten about the war crime code discussion? There are serious actors and perpetrators of heinous crimes still walking our country free. There is no one going after them. They are challenging the setup of the war crime code. Some of them have voluntarily even said that they will go to the court once there is one being set up. But I think those are things they say because they knows very well the government itself maybe lack the ability or the capacity to have a war crime code. Now they want to localize the conversation to say we should do that locally. Woo. Tell me, even the way I was structured, no disrespect to our judicial system. But they are already overloaded with a lot of cases on the docket pending year in, year out. People, are having court cases that goes on the term of court, and sometimes it goes to another term of court. How can we overburden our states and want to have a serious war crime court issue and want to turn that over to our local judges? No disrespect to them, they are lawyers. They may understand the process, but to give spice and to give it credence, to give it the weight, like what happened in Sierra Leone and other places, it is not possible for this government to turn a blind eye. Even the budgetary support to the process seems to be lacking. It is not there. So there is no Prince Johnson. So there is no more war crime conversation. There is Tomo Yaya Dimle here. They all participated in the war. There are several names of people, but everyone had Prince Johnson as the front burner. Until today, he's no more. But other contributors to the war, other major players, other economic, crown people, they're all walking here scot-free with the amputation and the blood and the mass grave in our communities. No one is being held accountable for that. That's hateful. And if this government promised the Liberian people, then they should support the process. They should go all out, like the president is traveling here and there. There should be support coming in so that this process can be a process that Liberians will witness, so people can face justice.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Toby. Uh, Ansu, your thoughts, because we have about another 15, 16 minutes, 8:30, when we're going to be closing the show. Um, I just wanted to hear your thoughts before we go into our closing thoughts.
Well, my my senior brother has said it all, and so I want to go deep into this World Economic Crime Code issue that because for me, I would just say like uh, we like Bill would say it's just a very big flag. The public say finish forgetting about this whole program. If you finish forgetting the World Economic Crime Code, it's that the president forget it because you do not the put to that place, they haven't getting paid for some months now. Yeah, people that place haven't getting paid for some months. They just took part of loads, everything from everywhere. When the old man took office, just brought part of loads on him. Do this one, approve this one, confuse him. Things that you're not prepared, you're not ready for. Things you're not prepared, you're not fully ready for. That would be as forgetting, but that whole war, economic code. They put to that place, they haven't getting paid for some time, and they're complaining there. So as I said, but simple I said, oh, that's just Liberia, that's all. And they presented it like what Mr. Tobe said, like the former Senator Johnson, they presented it, they came with that about heavyweight. They presented in a very serious minded way that is going to happen now, that today they are fully ready and prepared. We can't run a country like this. We can't. So where's the curve? Where's all the connections? What are they doing now? So as I said, like the president feeling forgetting, but I hope whatever the American could almost forget about it on a different thing now. The people that have having getting paid for some months.
So we're here. We want to welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. We are here every night, with the exception of maybe Saturday, I think, on our schedule so far, but we're still in a developmental process of making this show bigger and better and good for you. So want to thank you for joining us. I want to just say a few things before going to our closing thoughts. Your budget. tells you about your priorities. I want all of us to think, because once upon a time, the adults in our lives, and even us who are adults now, they have visualize and say, okay, I'm going to set aside X amount of dollars, maybe for the children's school, for the food, for the house rent, you know, even if they have it or not. But for us to see that the War and Economic Crimes Code was just completely skipped over. And I also understand that the Assets and Recovery Team money was skipped over as well. So it suggests to me what is important to this government right now. The concept of us exploring and getting in tune with the contributors of the war, or atrocity that led us to the place that we are right now, mentally, physically, or sometimes the dilapidation of our country. So, if that is not a priority for the government, if the people's ability to get well, how is it you want to order 285 yellow machine and expect us to be happy? How is it that you want to increase the budget to $1 billion when there's things in the budget you are not prioritizing, things that are related to the people that you are not prioritizing? So I just want to say that when you fix a budget, it sort of tells what you are prioritizing in your life. Even when you have a vision of a budget, it tells what you are prioritizing in your life. Um, in closing, it was a wonderful, wonderful show. I want to tell you to come back again and join us. We are here. We are getting bigger. We are getting better. And I want to thank my co-hosts, Mr. Smith Toby and Ansu. You guys are making this show a hit. I would not have done it without you. So again, you join us today. We told you about CMC. We told you about our trending news and how we are changing the trajectory of how politics is done in Liberia. We are making it different. I want to encourage you to go to www.cmclib.com, which is our website, and click the Join CMC button. You can also read about CMC while visiting our website. So that is another way to join. I want to tell you that we're planning a retreat coming up very soon in the United States for the leadership that are here. As a matter of fact, after the show tonight, I have one more CMC duty, which is to have a meeting with the planners of the retreat. We're looking forward to ways that we can strengthen, ways that we can empower, ways that we can understand what it is to be a CMC-mer, to be a member of this glorious party. This party is unlike many other parties as we have explained to you tonight. We are going to contribute to the development because we have a development-oriented leader of our country. So again, I want to pass it over to Mr. Toby to say some his final thoughts, and then we'll go to Ansu, who will also tell us his final thoughts about the show tonight or about anything else that is on his mind.
Let me say thank you, and I'm sure it's been a time worth sitting here again with you and speaking to the people of Liberia and the rest of the world through this medium. Like you rightly said, we are developing. It's gradual, but we can assure our people that we will make some very huge progress. The more you listen, the more you join us, the more you get to know about the CMC, you know about the role we are playing in your communities across across the country. We are here to also inform you and sometimes talk about the trending issue in the country. Before I go tonight, I want to inform our viewers and followers of this platform and our CMC platform that tomorrow at 4 o'clock Liberian time, the political leader of the CMC will be addressing the nation in a major press conference. The specific of that press conference will be the CMC first official response to the national budget, the proposed budget, the draft budget sent to the national legislature. It will encourage you to note as a political party the angles from which we will intend to bring some understanding to the draft national budget that is hovering around 1.21 billion. Just so that you know, the budget history from Liberia post-war has seen a significant increase year after year. If you follow the preparation of the budget during the first term of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, it was somewhere around 120.2 million under the Ellen Johnson administration. Somebody got something playing? Oh, that already seen the kids. And then there was a budget that took place during a first regime or first year in power, but then the budget year was from June to July. After initially operating the recast budget, the budget was somewhere around 80 million from the previous fiscal year when she took office in January 2006. In 2010, the budget of the country has surpassed the US 350 million number. And in the year leading up to the Ebola crisis in 2014 and 2016, it approached the US 600 million as a budget. The post-Ebola recovery and subsequent years saw further increment growth with in the year 2020, the budget was hovering around 525 million. Notably, the 2025 budget was at 880 million, which also showed a sharp increase and the process that led to the 2026 budget that is now around 121 billion represent an unprecedented 38% increase in a single year. You know, when we're back here on tomorrow, the CMC may have given us a clearer understanding as to how we've reached this unprecedented 38% increase in a single year of the budget. There are priority issues, there are land issues, there are issues that concern the Liberian people that are yet to be prioritized in the budget. But again, Liberia would not develop on budget. We will not build this country on the budget. We got resources that have been misused, that have been taken away. Those resources are our God-given blessing to build our country. The budget, if you see the current budget, 78% of that budget goes to salary and the reoccurrence or debt or something. The rest that is left cannot develop this country over time. And the mistake we continue to make is that we expect the budget to be a developmental oriented budget. No budget will build this country. That is why the CMC has stepped in to help bring some development, to help this government to make sure that places where the budget will not reach, the CMC should be given the opportunity to make intervention. We are not a government competitor. We are a party that is introducing a new phenomenon in the ballot politics. All other political institutions should follow the footprint in a competitive manner, and not for the government of the day to be chasing the CMC out of projects, out of road work, and other developmental initiative for the sake of the people. I'll stop here tonight. I want to wish all of you a good time. Thanks for staying with us. And again, we're back here tomorrow, same time, to talk a lot more on all of the issues happening in this country. Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
Sue?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Great show, wonderful show. Tonight, and a lot of good things were said from the end of the CMC, especially where Mr. Toby talked about the bosses. Again, the yellow machine. So there are so many good things said here tonight. Again, we'll be here. We are on into the next month already, so into Tuesday already on our side. Yeah? So we'll be back here to run the Tuesday edition of the political launch. That's been a great show. Thank you so much.
So I'd like to just take this time to tell you thank you for being here, and we'll definitely see you tomorrow. And thank you for being patient with us. So at this time, we'll play the CMC anthem. So you know it's by the people, for the people, and of the people. So thank you.
CMC, for the people, by the people, and to the people. Citizens Movement for Change. Oh yes, a new day has come. Yes, a new day has come. Rise up, Liberia. CMC, for the people. CMC, by the people. Let us join our hands together. By the people, let us join our hands together to build a better life. Equity, national unity, transparency, accountability, social justice, integrity, CMC core values, CMC Global. Liberia, it is a new day for the people. Let's hold together, let's hold together. It's a unity, it's a the land of liberty, the land of freedom, the love of liberty brought us together. Let's hold together in peace and unity, to build a better life. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better life. CMC, yes, for the people. CMC, yes, by the people. Let's hold together in peace and unity to build a better life. CMC, yes. Yes, the time has come.